Hello, Rob from Fountain Pen Journey with a review of a new Chinese fountain pen. Now, there's a bit of a buyer beware on this one. It's a really good pen. Start off with that. It's a really interesting pen for the price, really good quality. But the listing that I saw this pen advertised on AliExpress, what the photograph represented wasn't what turned up. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it was not what I was expecting. I will try to either put a link down below in the video description, or I'll try and put a picture of the original listing up and you'll see what I mean, because this pen does not look quite the same as it does in the pictures as what was received. So anyway, this is the Litzy fountain pen. There doesn't appear to be any model number with it. It's just listed as Litzy extra fine fountain pen. Will also warn you that there are listings out there for this pen. There is a brush pen version, which I know some people might be interested in. I particularly wasn't, but yeah, I wanted the fountain pen version because it had this really interesting looking pointed lamy winged style nib that looked almost streamlined in the into the body. It looked really good, and what actually turned up was this. So looks like a standard number 5 extra fine steel nib, gold in colour. Bit of a disappointment because I was hoping for this streamlined pointed nib that looked really good in the photos, but unfortunately it didn't come like that. So don't know what's going on. I will also state that this Litzy fountain pen is still available on AliExpress. It does in some listings appear to be significantly delayed. It's now July 2021, and some of the sellers are saying expected stock or expected arrival in September 2021. So I don't exactly know whether they've run out of stock, or the other thing is that this pen, both the brush pen and the fountain pen, were available originally in this clear colourless demonstrator version, and I have seen some listings for some transparent coloured versions. There's a pink one, a green one, things like that, which look very similar to some of the PENBBS acrylics, which is quite interesting. Now, the other thing is that attracted me to this pen was not only the nib, but also the price. This is a piston filling fountain pen, demonstrator fountain pen. For the price, I thought you can't go wrong. Really cheap. And I'd liken it to the likes of, say, the Wing Sung 3008, 3009, that sort of price, that sort of style. Overall, well, let's go over the pen. So at the time of filming this video, only available in this colourless transparent demonstrator version with gold accents, and there really isn't a lot happening. We've got this Parker style arrow shaped clip, which is actually quite functional. It's pretty tight, not very springy. The cap band is gold, and there's basically nothing on it. So no model number, anything like that. It's a proper demonstrator. I mean, you can see everything here. You can see the black, not the ink, sorry, the blue ink in the feed. The feed is transparent as well, which is really nice. You can see the nib through there and everything. Piston filler, so we've got a really good sized ink reservoir. It's an extra fine nib, so it writes for a very long time. It's an excellent everyday carry. Black O-rings and piston head in there, really nice to see. Colourless translucent piston mechanism. There is a metal bit there where we go into this this blind cap up here, but as you can see, everything is colourless, everything's transparent. It's a really true demonstrator. when I filled this with ink, I wasn't entirely sure what to expect. I got an almost full fill. I mean, it was way up here. It was almost to the maximum. Brilliant fill. I've had absolutely no issues with this. I've been carrying this in my everyday work pen roll. No issues at all with burping or any nib creep or any ink flicking out of the nib while it's in transit. Really solid pen. The cap stays on there securely. It's brilliant. I'm really, really impressed with this. The cap unscrews. About a turn and a half, 1.5 turns to unscrew the cap, and we've got this colourless, transparent section. Now, there are 3 indentations on the section. Now, it's quite pronounced. I know that it's going to be a deciding factor for a lot of people who don't like these triangular grip section facets, whatever you want to call them. So it is there. There's no getting away from it. I'll also point out that the section is already quite narrow. This is quite a slim fountain pen. It's a decent enough length, but it is quite slim, and these indentations on the section, the 3 of them, actually make it feel like the section is quite narrow. However, extra fine nib, really good ink capacity. I've gone through more than half a fill of ink in this pen, writing with it solidly for quite some considerable time, and maybe a bit of hand cramping, but nothing that I would actually say was uncomfortable. Just slight. You're aware of the fact that you're gripping a very narrow section there. Gold coloured steel nib, extra fine on there. You can see that colourless feed, transparent feed. With a more interesting ink, I'm sure this would look a lot better, but I've gone for a very utilitarian ink in this pen, as we'll see. Really, really nice length, comfortable to hold. It does not post. It sort of clips on, but it actually does not engage with anything. The piston mechanism, this blind cap actually locks in place. You know, you fill it, and as it reaches its end point, it clicks into place. I haven't taken this pen apart. I'm not into doing that unnecessarily, so I can't say how easy or difficult it is to dismantle and reassemble. But overall, really, really impressed with the pen. So let's have a look at how it writes. So bearing in mind that this pen is a unbranded, oops, a bit of a hard start there, but that's probably because I've been messing around with it, and it is only sold at this moment in time as a Litzy fountain pen, Litzy. And it's feedbacky, but it's smooth. There's nothing wrong with this. I've had far, far worse extra fine nibs which have had way more feedback or been just generally a little bit scratchy. I've done nothing to this nib out of the box. It's reasonably wet. It's not bad for an extra fine, and it certainly does lay ink down really, really, really well. This ink is by Diamine, but it's for Cult Pens here in the UK, and this is Cult Pens Deep Dark Blue. Now, I've been quite impressed with this ink because it really is a deep dark blue. It's not a blue black as I was expecting. It's difficult to describe. It is coming out fairly consistently, accurately, the colour on here, and it is a very dark blue. It's definitely blue. It's not a blue black. Really, really nice. good flow on this, and this nib absolutely flawless. Reverse writing is brilliant. I'd say it's an extra fine, and it just keeps writing and writing. There's no scratchiness. Really good quality. So I'm very impressed with this pen. I wonder if Litzy are going to release this in more colours, or even create some more models. It may be that it's just one of these Chinese brands that's just coming out, and China seems to be experimenting with a lot of the names. I mean, I'm seeing Mojang used for Moonman, things like that. So it could just be a generic fountain pen that they're just applying a Litzy brand name to, no model name. But yeah, I'm really happy. So this is a really good pen for anyone wanting a clear colourless piston filled demonstrator, because it really does fit that bill. It certainly ticks all the boxes, and yeah, definite thumbs up from me. Big thumbs up, definitely for the price, well worth it. Excellent fountain pen. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye.